Good morning, Zoom. We'll get started in just a second, okay? Can you guys speak just so we can test the audio? Anybody on Zoom?
I can hear you.
Okay, sweet. Thank you. We're ready. The clicker's ready for you.
Ready?
Ready to go. We got a few people on Zoom. We'll get started in just a second.
Thank you. You can turn off the music.
Ready?
We can get started a little bit. All right, I'll give you guys a quick update on. Well, let me pause the music real quick. You can turn on the camera for me.
Oh.
So people on Zoom can see me.
Hey.
Hi, Zoom. Crappy Zoom thing we're doing. All right, a little update what's going on with the office. We had to hire a public adjuster. Basically, it's like you hire your own adjuster to go fight the insurance company to help get things done. Stupid. It is. But it is. So we should get an update. We were promised an update today for the phase 2. Some of you guys have offices with a bunch of stuff in it. This morning, they got approved for a container, and it's supposed to be being moved out today, but they're not here yet, and they were supposed to be here like 2 hours ago. So we'll wait and see. So if you have an office that's just got a bunch of stuff in it that you could use, like Tiff, you have one of those. There's a few of us do. We were hoping to get you access today. Hopefully by Monday, they'll be in here and they'll move all that stuff out so you can get your office back. And then phase 2 of cutting the walls will begin, and then construction, all this fun stuff. So anyways, there's not a lot of updates because we've been going back and forth with the insurance company. It's been a nightmare. Amy's going to send out an email to everybody, kind of give an update. She's supposed to have a better one today to give everyone a heads up. Apologize for this, but it is what it is, and we'll get through it. And the office will be better. We can leave this room for back to our normal training room soon, hopefully. Hi, Shauna.
Good morning.
How are you?
Wonderful.
You want to play some Prices Right?
Yes, I would love to play some Prices Right.
Let's do it.
Do we have new homes this week?
We got new homes.
Well, yeah, I sold them.
So you better win all 3 of them.
Okay.
All right, let me put this up for Zoom. There we go.
All right, and music? All right, our first one is California City, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, built in 2006. 2,100 square foot home on a 15,000 square foot lot. Oh, nice. I like the bathroom.
Wow, that's fancy.
Uh-huh.
It's like a.
Oh, you can't.
Don't be a hater. Scott, your words are ugly.
Oh, I got it!
Oh, I was right.
I got another money.
I give up. I'm going home. I give up. I'm going home.
I had it before you showed.
Guys, I would love to blame the controller. I would love to blame somebody, but I think I just hit the button too soon. My bad.
Hey, what happened? Nico and I still got it before it showed.
No, I mean, that's up to the prize giver over there. That's not up to me.
Yeah.
Sorry, I burned that one, Zoom.
I told you for that, right?
Try again. JD caught a black eye from Nico. 375! Whoa! Who caught that?
I feel like it's really low.
No,
It's Cal City?
Yeah.
Cal City.
All right, another beautiful Cal City property, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, built in 2023, 1,900 square feet on a 10,000 square foot lot. Really pretty.
I'm only clicking one more.
That's a nice one.
Wow, this is really nice. Ooh. Look at that fan. It's got like a ring.
I don't know.
I'm a big fan of that house.
Alright.
All right, prices in before.
Wait, I can click one more time,
I
right?
don't think
No, wait, go back one.
Go back.
Okay,
Yeah,
you
two.
guys click
One more,
time.
one more.
Alright, now I'm scared.
Okay. Oh, so new build, no backyard, and beautiful.
New hill, no backyard, and beautiful. Alright, what are we thinking? For $23.99, $420, $420, 330, 365, 425, 385, 415, 385, 435, 375, 410.
Alright, actual
Retail price.
actual retail price is four something. I said
435.
Jimmy did $399.
I got 435.
435. Anybody on Zoom? Bless you, sir.
Nope, not on Zoom.
Jason, yeah.
Jason. Dude,
Now we got
with all your winnings, you can get us all Starbucks. Man. That's a fire.
Can we switch to the coffee bean?
Alright, last one is Roseman. 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, built in 1990.
ADU? That's an ADU, I bet.
2,300 square foot house.
This is Roseman?
Like 1989. Go back. Back house.
That looks like a flip with an ADU add-on.
That's
I
$399.
feel like I'm late.
Oh, Roseman Park in 1990, 23 with the
Go back to the
converted
next
garage.
one. Next one.
That's probably an unpermitted, I would guess.
So it doesn't matter.
Kinda does.
Mother-in-law quarters. It says a two-story mother-in-law quarters.
I'm so scared I'm gonna throw the button again.
Ooh, I'm feeling more something.
Alright, what do we got on Zoom? We got 450, 410, 435, 476, 425, 475. A lot of the mid 4 range. That seems to be key. 465.
We got 480 on Zoom, 425.
475. Alright. Our actual retail price, without going over,
479.
is
490.
450, 450. Anybody have 455?
Anybody above 450?
450, no. We got 470, 430, close.
Just over.
Alright, perfect, guys.
Oh my goodness, we got big winners.
Big winner.
Big winners.
Alright, well you guys have a great office meeting, and as always, thank you for remembering on track on contract. We really appreciate all your guys' support.
Thanks, gentlemen. Got a full house in here. Alright guys, we got KW Education events coming up. We got 5 skills to succeed in a new market, Wednesday, April 10th with Jeff Glover. That one is $20. That one is by Jeff Glover. It's done online, so if you wanted to sign up for that one, you need to.
It's going to be
So
here.
we're actually going to be
Oh, we're
streaming
doing it here. We're streaming it live.
Yep.
That's alright. We're doing it live in here. You don't even have to pay.
Yeah.
You can just come in and enjoy.
Jeff owns multiple
Such a
sections.
blessing.
He
Yep.
teaches teams how to build teams. The cool thing is, he shares all of his stuff, his presentations, scripts. So he's actually going to be coming out with scripts and a presentation to work with the NAR lawsuits and how to start handling those objections and put them in your presentation. So that's all going to be inside that.
If you
Social media.
were part of the night where I did the winning with sellers, I shared some of his listing presentation during the night.
Yep, he was on stage with Gary Keller at Family Reunion. He did a lot of stuff during Family Reunion. Hey guys, if you ever want to know where our training, what we have, I don't know if everyone knows, I hope you all know, but if you go to kwavcalendar.com, all our trainings and everything are on there. You can click on the link, it tells you if it's live, in person, on Zoom. You can jump right in. But there's all sorts of good stuff. Influence your sphere with powerful branding, lead generation like a producer, like a top producer, like a producer. Coffee with the Capper. Zach is going to be here Wednesday, April 24th. This is, I think, our 4th.
Yep.
Those have been very popular. We're going to keep doing them along the way. So we have lots of great stuff coming for you. We know the market has shifted. Yeah, or JD?
Can I elaborate just a little bit
Yeah,
more on
absolutely.
what each one is? So Jason's gonna be handling, that's Money Monday. So on Monday, that's the 15th, Jason he has a goal to help all of us agents have at least $1,000 in their savings account.
Beautiful.
Dave Ramsey says that most Americans don't even have $1,000. So that's his goal. So he actually is bringing in a guest speaker. What's her name? Rodriguez, she has a whole presentation, she has a program, so that's Money Monday. Tech Tuesday, the following day, is Nico and Armando. They're gonna be talking about branding and influencing on social media. Lead generation, like the top producer is actually the All-Stars. What we're gonna do is hop on a Zoom meeting, we're gonna create breakout rooms, and you guys can just watch live our lead generation calls. So I'll probably be doing Zillow calls, Jason will probably be doing Command or Zillow. Juan is gonna do the Spanish speaking, so if there's anyone that wants to hop on the Spanish speaking live call. And then our ISA, Luis will be doing for sub-owners, expires, cancels. We'll do it 10 to 11, pretty much we're gonna do what we do and you guys get to watch us and hear our conversations.
Awesome.
I think
Yeah,
that would be.
and then Coffee with Capper, Zach Sprague, I mean, Victoria's running that one. But all of the Coffee with Cappers that we've had so far have been a massive success. I mean, everyone walks away with a little nugget or two, and Zach is unique. He's got a cool way of doing real estate and business, so you have to get a cool spin on it. Thanks, Garrett.
Thank you, JD. So guys, there's lots of great stuff coming up. The market has shifted, yes?
Yes.
Tiff,
Can
you got-
I say something?
Yeah.
So next week, the city of Hoндell's coming, planning and building. Please text me questions. They're asking me, what do you guys want to know? What kind of information do you want? So I just wanna kinda give them an idea of what information.
General
to
questions
bring.
we'll have.
Just general, yeah, so.
Do we have to be friendly? Can we be really kind of actually?
You could ask real questions,
Aggressive?
Scott.
Can we,
You
Scott?
could ask some
Scott,
questions.
we want them to come back. So you don't make me ask you to leave, okay? Be kind.
Because I go to their meetings at night. I've
Be
been-
kind.
And are they not nice to you because they're like, Scott, you just leave?
They're-
hoarders?
You know, they're owned by the city of Lancaster is what they are.
Smart investors?
Yeah. Call me. Call me.
Who do you call the city?
Coffee Bells.
One last thing too, it's very important that you guys are speaking for these. We have sponsors providing lunches for a lot of these, especially for influencing your sphere with Power Branding. We have sponsors, they wanna know how many people are gonna be here, so how many lunches to buy, so make sure that you do RSVP ahead of time, because if you don't, you might not get food.
Might not get food. You can always RSVP up at the front, guys, so if you have questions next week for our team meeting next week,
Let us know.
text Tiffany, your questions for, the meeting next week. Thanks, Tiff.
Thanks,
There's-
Tiff.
Anyways, as we know, we have a shifting market, correct?
Yes.
Things are different than they were in 2020, 2021.
Yes.
No? I mean, we just look statistically, right? We're down quite a bit in sales. The shift isn't so much in sales price, it's just in unit count, right?
Yeah.
And so we're shifting the type of agents we need to be as well, correct? Before you needed to be what? You needed to be first. Then you got the deal. Right? Now you need to get what?
First, second, last, and all of the above.
Someone
Is that
said
it? Skill?
skill. Right? We're moving from a speed-based market to a skilled-based market. So pay attention to what we're bringing. We're trying to bring a lot of value to our agents so we can be the skilled-based agents that are taking the listings, and the other agents outside in other places that aren't getting any training are going to be running around trying to figure it out, and they can go get jobs somewhere else, and we'll take their market share. Sound good? All right. So let's pay attention. Let's come to these classes. Let's be learning. Let's be lead generating. Let's be writing some offers. So guys, we have KW Cares meeting right after. Andrew, you want to say anything real quick on that? Just about what the meeting goes on if someone wants to join?
Yeah, so we're going to be talking today a little bit about what we're going to be doing for Red Day. So if you guys have an opinion, it'd be great for you guys to attend that.
What's Red Day, if I'm new?
Red Day is an annual event Keller Williams does. Every Keller Williams does it, and it's to give back to the community. So it's our day to kind of give back to the community that we serve. So finding ideas on what we can do to give back this year. So if you have any ideas or any input, feel free to attend.
We don't have something planned to do this year?
No, we're going to be discussing. Okay.
If you want to help join, plan for Red Day. In years past, we've gone to schools, we've helped out, served teachers, helped a veteran center building out. We built a big old wall a couple years ago. We fed homeless. We always do something in the community, so if you have a passion around something, this is the part to come to it, speak what you have passion about, and we can figure out what we can do for Red Day this year. And it's great guys, it's a really great cause. We do a lot giving back to our community. We give a lot giving back to the office, to agents in need. And so this is KW Cares. We raise money to help support us in here and help support our community. Okay. All right, so today we got Carlos, you're looking good, dude, there. Looking nice, man. Alright, so Carlos is somewhat newer to Keller Williams. He joined us last year, and one thing Carlos has done is dominated open house. Most of his business comes from open houses. Last year, he closed over 20 houses from clients he met just at open houses. Many of us would like to close 20 deals this year, yes? And we say we should have probably 3 areas that we should be focusing on lead generation. Well, we have someone who's just been dominating open houses. He's going to come up and share a little bit about what he does. I'm going to ask him some questions, but we also want you guys to ask him questions to see what his success is. So Carlos, why don't you come up here? We thank you so much. Come and share some of your secrets and what works for you. So I'll let you do your thing first. You have some slides, I think, and then we'll ask questions.
Yep.
Sounds good. All right.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Carlos Martinez.
Woo!
Thank you.
Woo!
So this is my third year, right? So a lot of this stuff that I learned is from a lot of coaching, and from a lot of trial and error. So this is not something I just figured out. This has been with time. I've been doing this, I'll say about over 2 years now, open houses, and this is what I found out, and this is what works for me. So number one, it's kind of like a checklist. I don't have like a checklist here, but I'll just kind of let you guys know my checklist. What I found out is you need at least 20 signs. Why 20 signs? Because sometimes you do need to get some certain areas that you need to bring the clients in, right? So if you don't have enough signs, how are they going to come into the house? That's your number one thing. There's a number one objection. I'll say make sure they, and then now the signs. I used to have like a little sign and then my picture all nice and big and huge. What I found out is, number one is, your sign needs to be very clear, right? I'll bring it up. So, typically, your sign needs to look something like this. Right, you do have your information, but the open house is going to be clear. It has to be very clear. If somebody's driving across, they need to see your sign. So I typically make sure that it's big enough for anybody to see. And this is from actually buyers letting me know, hey, you know what, it was easy for me to go to the house. I follow your signs from the street all the way to the house. Thank you for that. Now, putting up signs, there's another thing that I noticed is number one, I put a lot of the signs to the left. So once you go into the neighborhood, typically most people are gonna look left and they'll follow the signs left. When I put it to the right, when they're driving, it's harder like for them to focus. So I noticed to the left, it makes it easier for them to notice it. So it's an easier guide for them. Now, on the main streets, I say outside, we have high winds here. So what I got here, this is from trial and error, of course. So I have these bricks here. These bricks have a groove. They go into.
They're locking bricks, right?
Yeah. Well, it kind of locks them. So these are from Home Depot. I got these 2 per sign. On the main streets outside where you can't see the property or you can't see the signs, I suggest having them. This will keep your signs up or bags. It's up to you, but this is the best that's worked for me. 2 each sign, and you don't really have to worry about if they're falling or not. You know, that's number one. In front of the house, I would suggest maybe the 2 bricks or 2 of them in the front, and after that, you don't need them. You can just walk out and pick them back up. That's typically when it,
You don't want 2 bricks for all your signs, though.
each sign.
Yeah.
2 bricks per sign.
So you got 40 bricks in your trunk, Scott.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
You want 20 sales a year?
I started Brad down, I may have a question.
40 bricks.
40 bricks.
Okay, so
You got another sign?
number one.
Make it 42 because you're probably gonna break a couple.
So another thing, this is our checklist in the sense of what's gonna work, right? Now, I do have a cart. This cart here, I can put about 4 signs and then put the bricks inside and I can carry them easily. Especially in the main streets, I'm pulling them. I used to carry two bricks and a sign. In one corner and so forth.
Just out of curiosity,
Yeah.
sorry, what kind of car do you drive?
It's a hatchback.
Okay.
It's a hatchback.
You can do SUV, hatchback.
Scott, you have excuses and results. You can't have all, my friend.
friend.
Figure it out.
You can put the back seat down, So you can put the signs that way, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. SUV, trucks, cars, hatchback.
My point is,
So,
It's all right.
that's what you typically need, right? So it could be easier for you, because at the end of the day, if you're doing a lot of open houses, I noticed after the second open house, back to back, my shoulders are burning. Back from carrying the sign, so this was the easiest solution for me after multiple times of failure, like, okay, what can I do better so that I don't suffer? Now, another thing I do is I put the signs early, 6 a.m., 7 a.m. Why do that? Because I don't wanna be sweaty, I don't wanna be tired, I wanna have a good mood, I wanna be breakfast, whatever I wanna do. I put the signs early, except for the front of the house. So everything's put out except for the front of the house. Why do that? Also, because if I do have to have a showing, maybe I have a showing that day in the morning, I could do my showing and come back to my open house and open it up. So that's why everything has a purpose to it. Now, when it comes to the checklist, very simple for a lot of the new agents, a lot of the seasoned agents, probably not gonna, might a couple of things. Because your business cards, your open house registry, or you could have, if somebody's really skilled, they know their phones, then you could have like a scan. So either or. Each person is different. Of course, your information about the property itself, you could do your own flyer, but this is just the basics. If you don't know how to do it, just get it from the MLS. Very easy. Your pins, and of course, if whoever you're working with, your lender. I typically work with lenders on an open house.
So you bring one with you?
I bring one with me.
Do you put them to work too?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, so the purpose of why the lender's there is to answer certain questions that buyers might have. They don't want to set my boundaries, right? So it's easier for a lender to be there, and if they have any qualifying questions or anything they need, typically we work together, and it works really well. Or if you have a teammate, then a teammate can help either or. I always do it in teams. So I would suggest in teams, one, because sometimes, what if 3-4 people show up? Then you definitely want to talk to them, right? You just don't want to walk around. What's the purpose of the open house is to give people information and to engage with them. If you're not engaging with them, then what's the purpose? They always have a need. They don't just come to the open house just to look at a house. There's a reason for them in their mindset. They're looking at a house. They just don't know how to qualify, and that's what you're there for. Okay, so these are the basics. I do have a nice little speaker, and I put smooth jazz. Smooth jazz just gives you the vibes. Everybody's different. Somebody can put maybe 80s. I don't know. It's up to you. But you want to have some type of music that is kind of low enough, but it's very enjoying. Another thing that I noticed, you definitely want to have the house smelling good, right? So some houses, I do about 2 air fresheners, no more than 2. I already tried 3 to 4, and it gets overwhelmed. People come in and they're overwhelmed with the smell. So 1 in the living room, 1 in the hallway. It works best. And then people actually, wow, it smells really great in here. So it does give them that warm smell to it. Now, when it comes to signs outside, of course, you want to have either a couple little signs like this. All this is, you can buy this on Amazon. You can have signs like this, the flags, and then the most important thing that I do is when we're engaging with somebody, and let's just say, specifically, they come to my house, maybe my house is not the one that they want. I always have my laptop and always have some type of internet. So if you want to buy one of these, you can get them at T-Mobile, it has them, depends, a hotspot. You want to have a hotspot. It's a hotspot.
Okay.
Yeah, so you absolutely have to have a hotspot. Now, if they're engaging with you and they're pretty much letting you know what they want, why waste time? Pop your laptop open, go into the MLS, and start showing them properties. One thing that I found out, why I always say 2 people, because if they're that hot, we're gonna go look at a house right now. We're not gonna look at the house, let's close. Let me close everything up, let me go. No, that's why you have an extra person for you. So you go and you take care of business, or your lender stays, and then you leave, and then you come back. And next thing you know, I'm submitting an offer. So it doesn't, at the end of the day, we're here for service, right? We're here to provide a service for clients and make them feel a certain way that they're wanted, right? They have questions. Am I curious enough to ask the questions? Am I digging enough? What's the motivation, time, and location? Those are your 3 major things that you have to listen for them to give you information. if you don't show that you care, they're not gonna know, right? So if they're there, they're asking questions, if they're renting, why do they wanna move? Why specifically my area? Why do they wanna come to my area? Is it basically schools? Do they know my area? Can I teach them? Is it, so I start digging into what their wants and needs are, and then from there the conversation goes. Now, I do have a couple of slides.
Clicker's right there for you.
Where? Is it forward this way?
Yeah.
So, one other thing that I do is I always plot my signs. Number one, we have to the day before plot where we're going. So specifically here, this is one in Athens, right? It's very hard. It goes into, so these are my points, right? Like where the signs are gonna go. I have right in front of the house, typically I have 2 to 3, and then I have people follow, right? Those are 2. It comes to the highway, right? It's 2 more here, and I'm always having them look. Make it easier for them. They're always plotted, always to the left side, so they can see. Everything's to the left. I have so you guys can kind of look. This is more of a sheet, you can pass it around. Kind of a little bit more zoomed in. So that kind of gives you an idea. I always plot everything. How is my client the buyers, possible prospects are gonna come to my house? Where's the best routes that I can take? I look at the map, I look at everything to make sure what's the best route for them, what's gonna be easier for them to follow. This is the main street of that canyon. This is where it starts. I have 3 signs there, and then I draw. All I gotta do is just follow my signs all the way down. That's typically what I do with all my clients. Now, something I would suggest, and safety-wise, when we're out there, why I have the cart, and it's easier for me, one thing I would say, don't get distracted. I've had people almost run me over several times. So if you're listening to music, please just have it in one ear. Because this is kind of what happened. But these are the signs that they're a little bit more zoomed in. These are how they look. This is the front of the house. So my signs, that's why I carry about 25 to 30 signs. So the front of the house, it's presentable, right? It's a lot of signs. People are like, hey, man, what's going on here? So I like to attract people to my open houses. Now, when we talk about the safety aspect of it,
You gotta point towards the computer sometimes.
Yeah, over here.
okay, this is what happened about, I would say a couple months ago. I was pulling the cart, I'm in the main street, and the guy was not even paying attention. So what I did, I released the cart, let him have it. So I always say this as a caution, once you start doing a lot of open houses, people don't care. People are not looking, so don't ever assume they're gonna stop for you. And in case this could probably save you, release it, let them have it, let them take the breaks, let them have everything. But your life is worth it.
Bricks and all.
Breaks and all. So,
How did he end up? Is he okay?
yeah, well, it was a big ranch, so. So at the end of the day, I always caution, pay attention when you're out there, pay attention in the main streets. It could cause your life or it could save your life, either way. So that's my caution to you guys. What I use.
How'd the open house go on that day? Just out of curiosity.
It was going well. So what I use is a buyer prequal. This is typically for my coaching. There's a lot of different questions you could ask. Now, not every time you're gonna follow it in sequence. You're gonna always go by the flow of the client. You always want to, as soon as they come in, I could have something you guys copy. Throw it around. Let's take a picture.
We can make copies after.
You make copies. Yeah,
So
so.
I have copies, you can grab them up front if you guys want a copy after.
So, the best thing that I've noticed is I always smile, welcome to my open house, what brings you to my open house? So that typically kind of warms them up. I present the property, and then I start asking questions of how long you've been looking for a property. And then it goes from there, is what's your motivation, what are you really out here for? And then typically they'll tell me, if either they're renting, or, it's their first time home buying experience. They don't have any information, so I start giving it to them. I start asking the motivation, I'll say this, guys, a portion of this I use, but at the end of the day is their motivation. How soon they're looking to purchase a property. Now, one objection that comes up a lot, right, is the lenders, right? A lot of them have fear. Why do I need to go talk to the lender? So I'll ask them, this is kind of like my checklist on the questions. I have like four answers for that. So my question to them is, do you know why it's important to talk to a lender? And number one, they're like, no, I don't know. This is a first time home buyer. They have no information. They don't know what's going on. So my first one is, the reason is, of course, when you check your credit, you're gonna know what interest rate you're gonna get. It's either gonna be in the 7s, 6s, wherever the case may be, right? So your number one thing is, what interest rate am I getting? Based on my credit score. That's number one. Number two is what I qualify for. Let's just say you make $6,000. Typically, you're gonna have half of that. Most lenders are gonna give you 50% less or a little bit more. So, and on top of that, right, so I'm explaining to them, another thing that they're gonna look at is your income and then what you owe. Let's just take an example, $400 for a car payment and 2 credit cards of $100 each. So that's about $600. So you subtract that from that $3,000, right, that you're receiving, that's about $2,400. So now you kind of have an idea that is not, I'm not gonna use my whole paycheck. A lot of people think that that's, oh, I make this amount of money, it's okay. No, you're not using all of it, they're gonna use this portion. So they understand that. So I let them know, okay, your qualification at that point, you're gonna know it's either 300,000, 400,000. What's the next step after that? Well, what's my payment gonna look like? What's my payment? So at that point, the lender's gonna give you your payment options. This is the amount, the payment. Are you comfortable with the payment? And the last phase of it, that I told them is what program. What is it, the help that you need? Are you okay? Do you have down payment, closing costs? Do you need help in down payment? What options do you want? And then with that I tell them is, what if you need closing costs? Then at that point the lender talks to me, and then we set up a plan based on that, so I can help you find houses based on what your needs are. So that's typically what I let a lot of my buyers know. If they have that question or I feel there's just a pushback on it, just to give them information. Again, at the end of the day, we're here to give them information and guide them. And then the more we feel, the more comfortable they're with us, the better we're gonna serve them, and then we can find them the properties they want.
Nice.
That's pretty much it. I don't know if you
I
have
got questions. A lot of people have questions, but so I've done a lot of open houses, and I've never gotten 20 deals from open houses before. How many open houses are you doing?
typically 2 to 3 a week. Right now, we're kind of established at 2.
Say it again. 2 to 3 a week.
A week.
Oh, I can't just do 3 a year and get 20.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, awesome. Now with your open houses that you're doing 2 or 3 a week, you don't have that many listings. How are you getting them?
So either from the office, if I don't have anything from the office, I call the offices. I know I've had some connections with Remax from the Valley. I've had connections with other people that I established a good relationship with. They like how I work, so typically I'll call them. So if I work with somebody in the past, I'll give them a call first and say, hey, do you guys have any listings or anything I can promote for you? So typically I talk to those peers first, those agents. Another thing I would do is, of course, the office, and then if that doesn't work, then I'm calling until I find one.
Wow, so you have an obstacle, and then you overcome it and find an open house.
Yes.
Interesting concept. I like it.
Yeah, you can't have fear of getting. You can't have fear. People gotta know who you are, and the more you talk to people, and then that also helps. And I'll tell you this: it also helps when you're submitting offers. They know who you are. Oh, this guy. Oh, he worked with me before, or he's always at open houses. So yeah, he always carries buyers. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna say it's a perception, but it's something that people are more comfortable with, and then they'll accept your offers, or at least they'll give you more information to submit a better offer. So that's what I noticed, the connection I've had with a lot of realtors around here. Doesn't have to be Keller Williams, it can be anyone. I'm friends with everybody, so it doesn't matter.
Let's open it up to some questions, because I have a bunch more, but I'm sure you guys have a bunch of questions, so.
One question. When you do an open house, if you wanna do 2 days, consecutive?
Yeah, if you wanna do it consecutive.
Okay, so you do let the open house time overnight, or you take it
I typically take them because I've noticed that some people may not like you. They'll either take your signs, get your signs, and you'll come back and they're not there. So I've had that happen before.
I don't think they all like you, they sell the.
Yeah, I mean, whatever the case, it could be, like I said, it could be multiple things, but I typically, what I do is I leave it in the car. So if I put the signs on in the morning, I take them back down and leave them in the car. So in the morning, when I go out in the morning again, I put them right back out.
I've had for sale signs and post signs taken out of the ground.
They don't like it either.
You don't have like a criteria, like are you trying to shoot for houses that are as close to Main Street as possible, or is it like whatever you'll do it?
Honestly, if there's for me time to choose, if there's a possibility for me to choose, it could be either Main Street, it doesn't matter really, honestly. Again, that's why the importance is, I always say minimum 20 signs.
Right.
Because if you're shooting for that, it's because you don't have enough signs, right? You can't carry over the clients to your house. So the closer you are to the Main Street, the easier for you. Couple signs in the front, couple signs, that's not enough. So that's why I always say minimum 20 signs. So like that, it's more appealing.
Okay.
So like you said, you work for a different companies, real estate company.
Yes.
So if you pick the listing from them to do the open sign, so do you charge, do you have charges?
No, I don't
You
because
just do it free?
no. So the benefit for me is either I'm gonna pick up a client from that, and number one, I'm always trying to sell. You gotta remember this, guys. You're always trying to sell that listing also. If you could have a client for that listing, you're pretty much you're gonna get that house, right? So you have the insight. You have the straight connection with the listing agent. They're trusting you to have an open house with them. Most likely they're gonna go with you. They're gonna give you as much insight as possible because they want to work with you, right? So you're gonna earn that. You're gonna earn that with them. So if you have business, guess what? They're gonna give you another house, or somebody from another agent from the same office wants to give you houses. So your door's completely open. So that's the purpose of it. You're gonna make money off of it. Yes.
Carlos, how many listings have you received from doing open houses?
Couple. I haven't done too many because my focus was at that point was focus with buyers. Let me get good at one thing first before I move to the next phase. So now this is kind of where I'm transitioning now, but at the same time, like I said, if you want money now, and I always say this to like, if you're beginning your career, you want money now. Like, right? Like, if in 6 months you haven't made a dime, you're not gonna last in this business. So it's now. So this is the easiest way to get business. You purchase all the products and you reuse them. So one house pays for everything you did. And then the rest of them is profit. So that's how the way I look at it. And you start adding little things at the same time.
Do you offer any candy, mints, cookies, popcorn?
You know what, I used to, the only thing is when it's really hot, I do water.
Okay.
I see people do all kinds of craziness. It's not gonna give you more or less. At the same time, if it's really hot, I do carry water. Because at the end of the day, I'm very conscious of people walking up and down. We're 110 degrees out here. So yeah, if you wanna be conscious, give them some water, absolutely.
I found when you make cookies, you end up just eating them all.
Yeah, you do.
And you just go sit and like you just feel bad about yourself because you ate 12 cookies.
So it's not like it's a deal breaker,
Right.
but at the same time, remember, your purpose is not really for that. Your purpose is really to help the client out. What is their needs? What do they want? And how soon do they want a house? You're the expert.
Earlier you said that whenever you have somebody come in, you have your laptop open and you show them some properties, and then you don't close up, you kind of have somebody else take over.
Yes.
Is somebody else, is that like a lender, is it assistant, another agent?
So if depends how you do it, right? So if you have a lender, I'll typically just say, hey, I'm gonna step out for a bit, just take over. But remember, that lender, me and her have worked together, so we kind of know how to, so we know how to work the open house. If it's somebody else, another agent, great, hey, stay here, the next one's yours, whatever the case may be. So you guys swap out.
Lenders, I know this is a silly question, I should probably know it. Are they able to show the open house without it being like I guess breaking the law, so to speak?
I mean, the lenders that I have, they do have a real estate license, so it depends.
Okay.
If you're gonna step out for, like, just say, for a couple minutes or 30 minutes, 40 minutes to show a house, go. If you don't feel comfortable with that, I closed it. When I was by myself, I would close it and leave for a couple hours and then come back. So it's up to you, either that or towards the end. But remember, buyers, when they're hot, and they're like, right now,
Yeah.
what kind of agent are you? Are you the now, let's go get you a house? Or we're gonna wait, they're gonna cool down. Somebody else, they're gonna go to another open house, and that agent's gonna probably take them, goodbye.
I'm gonna have a little broker speak real quick, just in there, just as long as the seller is okay with who's in your home and showing it, you're okay, as long as the seller is aware and they're okay with that, right? Cause you're in the seller's home and they need that permission, so just make sure the seller's aware. If you're stepping out and another agent, they're expecting it's just you there, and you brought a friend, you step out, make sure the seller's aware and is okay that you're stepping out and that agent is there and they know them and they're comfortable, cause it's their home at the end of the day, so.
You let them know, you definitely let them know ahead of time who you're working with. So they know exactly what's going on.
Anyway, I gotta get in line too.
So, they come in, when they come into the open house, the clients, are you walking them through and kind of presenting the property and asking them questions, or you let them walk through first and then ask them questions?
So I typically, I welcome in, well, as soon as they come in, I welcome them, and then I present the property, and I typically walk with them. If they have any questions, I'm always asking qualifying questions at that point. I'm always trying to find out what the purpose is we're there for. I'm curious, I'm very curious. So typically, that's what I do.
Gotcha, okay.
You can let them walk if they're like, hey, you know what, just let me see, no problem. And then when they come back, is there any questions? And you can approach them that. Every client's gonna be different. You're gonna approach them, you're gonna fill them out on the first, as soon as they come in, depends, hey, how you doing, good morning, we're at the case, you know, hey, what brings you to the open house? Depends on their answers, you're gonna know what type of client they're gonna be.
2 questions. First one's a simple one. So you do 2 to 3 a week?
2 to 3 a week.
Are you always like, today's the day I get to do an open house? Are you always super excited every day to do
You know,
it?
there's times that I am exhausted, you know.
What keeps you going?
So at the end of the day, is your motivation, right? It's what's your motivation? I need to pay bills.
What's yours?
In my case, well, for my case, I love what I do. So I love real estate. So for me, I'm establishing my business. I want to have a very productive business.
Okay.
So I want to be successful with it.
So it's a vision that you see.
It's a vision for me, right?
Got it, yeah.
So your motivation is, hey, you know what, I need to pay my bills.
Yeah.
My kids, you know, I have rent to, whatever the case would be. This is the simplest way, in a sense, that once you purchase most of the stuff, you're gonna reuse it consistently. And honestly, it's the most bang for your buck. And if you become really good at this could be something that's gonna give you money. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So when you're picking houses, do you like vacant properties or owner occupied properties?
I typically like vacant properties. If I can't find a vacant property, then that's where I touch base with a lot of the agents I worked with before. And then I'll talk to them and ask them what the sellers are comfortable with.
Okay.
So if their time lapses, like just say, I'll give you 2 days between this time frame, then I'll take that. So I'm very flexible with my times, either earlier and then cut off. But typically, like let's say right now, I spend from 12 to 5. The reason why I do 12 to 5, I don't like to be at night picking up my signs.
Yeah.
I feel it's more dangerous, right? People don't see you. If they barely see you in the daytime, what are they gonna do in the nighttime?
Yeah.
So that's the reason for me that I have my cutoffs.
So, quick question here. How many days before you start advertising the property?
2 days before.
2 days before.
2 days before.
Good, I'm just.
So we're doing calling, either flyers, and when I do the open house that specific day, I'll do a video. I used to do it live, but what I learned when doing it live is just your circle, your people there.
Yeah.
So when you actually record it and you post it, it's more people get to see it. And then you Instagram, Facebook, whatever the case would be, I notice there's more interaction.
How about flyers? Do you pass them out or?
Yes, so you door knock, now, and specifically, let's just say the area that I'm going with, this house, right, which is Acton. A lot of the stuff is gated,
Yeah.
right, so you kind of have to gauge, so if that doesn't work, let's make the calls. You use Red X, you can use Title will give you that information. get 200, I'll say about half a mile radius, and then give them a call. And then typically I'll have a flyer already printed, or I have a copy, I'll send it to them, or ask for the email, send it to them, and invite them. So there's a lot of different ways you can do it, either you door knock, give the flyers, or make the calls. Either or, you gotta gauge your area.
What do you consider a successful open house?
I would say if I get a really, again, I always say for me is 1 lead a day, 1 lead at open house. My goal is always 1 lead. 1 serious lead that I can convert. So that's my goal. Now, if that week was bad, the next week is gonna be better. So your mentality is 1 a week, 1 a week. Doesn't matter what happens in open house, 1 a week, that's your mentality. Because if you think about it, let's just say for the worst, you got 2 leads, great leads. Let's say our average is what, $450 here? So you're making about $10,000 per house, that's 20 grand. That's life changing for a lot of people. So that's the mentality you have to have, once a week.
Okay. So you said 12 to 5 before. What's the duration you usually do an open house? Is it like 3, 4, or 5 hours?
About 5 hours, typically 5 hours. Now, if it's a Thursday, I do them long. If I do it a Thursday specifically, I'll do them longer because people are working, some people are on break. A lot of the homeowners around will typically come in the morning, afternoons, people in lunch, and then the further it goes out, people are out of work. So depends who you want to engage. You know, so you kind of gotta look at it that way. The 10 a.m. to the 12 slot, I noticed that a lot of the people are homeowners or people that are visiting. The 12, I would say to 3, lunch, in between, whatever the case would be, I get those people. And then let's just say the rest of that is people already out of work and they're, oh, what's going on here? And they come to the open house. So it gauges, depends how you want to run it.
Once you get a lead, how often you contact them within the?
Okay, so let's just say I pick up a lead, depends on interest, right? So I typically, would do, if I'm doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's my day off, so Monday, follow up right by Monday. Now, if I send that lead to the lender, I wanna know what's going on that day. So, what's going on, I engage with them, have a conversation with them, and they say, hey, I'm gonna call you Monday after, once you guys have the conversation, I just wanna make sure you're comfortable. At that point, I'm saying, what kind of houses you're looking at? Kinda get an idea. This is the information you wrote down, and I would typically write down the information on the book, or I take notes. So if they're telling me a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, a pool, single story, it has to be between this area, I'm already engaging, okay, it's in Lancaster, you east, west, okay, west, is it Palmdale, you consider Palmdale, East Palmdale, West Palmdale. So I start getting them options, and then I start writing down all the information. So the more I extract from them, the better it is. So when I send them homes, they're more engaged to what they're looking for. So it's easier for me. And I typically let them know, hey, once we get qualified, maximum 6 houses. Remember guys, this is another thing I noticed. After 6 houses, they're lost. If you're doing more than 6 houses on a showing, you're dead in the water. I don't care if I tell my clients, if I send you 20 homes, pick 6 that you see yourself in. If it's not 6, give me 3. Only houses that you see yourself in with your family, then let's go see those. I don't care about the rest. So I always, off the bat, I'm already telling them kind of what to do in a sense to focus. So they're already focusing on what they want and they're engaged. So my engagement is within those 6, we find something.
Is there any certain days that you see more people coming in of the week?
It depends. I mean, it's either be, I'll say Saturdays a little bit more, but Fridays there's good engagement with homeowners. I notice homeowners and people around. It depends. You never gonna know in open houses. You don't know if somebody's visiting a friend, and that could be your client right there and then. Or it could be I had one where the grandmother was looking for the daughter. And next thing you know, that was a Thursday. By Saturday, we're looking at houses with that granddaughter. I sent them houses to her. Here you go. Next thing you know, we're in escrow Monday. So it really comes down to, again, how motivated you are and then how much information
Wait a
you
minute,
extract.
say that again? You met someone on Thursday.
Thursday, the grandmother came.
Showed on Saturday, escrow Monday.
Escrow
That's
Monday.
not possible.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I've had like even a veteran came to my property, came to an open house on Saturday. He said, I don't know if I could qualify. We literally qualified him right there. I said, you know what, the lender was there. I told the lender, go with him. Go to the office, qualify. We qualified, we looked at homes on Sunday, and then we're in escrow Monday.
Lender makes a difference.
But you just were naturally really good at all this stuff. I don't know the market as well as you. How did you get so good? You've been a real estate agent for 20 years, I bet.
No, 2 years. I mean, it's all, it's a lot of stuff is gonna, and I'll tell you, it's trial and error. Not everything that I do is gonna work for you. You cater your open house to what you're comfortable with. And the more engagement you have with clients, buyers, prospects, the better you're gonna get.
And
It doesn't come this natural, this easy.
I'll just jump in for him. Carlos is one of the hardest working agents I've met. And so I joke about he's only been in the business 2 full years on his 3rd year in real estate, but he outworks most agents that have worked 10 years in the amount of time he's put in doing open houses, practicing his scripts and dialogues, understanding the questions. He doesn't take the sheet and just read the questions, he's internalized them because he's script practiced and he understands the questions. And he live practiced with people coming in and got better. He wasn't perfect the first 10 times he did it, but he grew his skills over and over again. But he was always doing 3 a week for 4 to 5 to 6 hours because he's like, what else am I going to do? I got to go make money. That's the approach we need in the market we're going into, and that we've been in. So I just give some credit where it's due.
You said when people come into the open house that you first want to take them through. What do you do when you have multiple people come in at one time?
You gotta pick and choose. You gotta pick and choose. So you gotta engage the questions you're asking. You gotta engage with them. If they want to be left alone a little bit, leave them alone. I always give them the information right up front. 3 bedroom, 2 bath. This is what's been done to the property. I give them the values of the property itself. And then from there, if they need to go look at themselves, then I'll let them. So you gotta pick and choose who you feel you have more connection with, and then go with the gut feeling, honestly.
So in the beginning, you presented to like, say you have 3 or 4 families come in at the same time, it's basically.
Just give them information, each one, always say, welcome to the open house, brings you, I always ask the same question, because I always wanna engage at least with what brings them to the open house, and then from there, either I'm gonna engage with this client, and so forth. So if it's too many people, then you just have conversations, you say, hey, go look at the property, go look at the house, if you have any questions, come back. So it all depends if it's a solo, if there's multiple, that's why you wanna always have somebody with you.
Right.
So either I could benefit, or they could benefit, or if there's a lender, they already know my script, they already know how I work, we will all work together. Yeah.
Sorry, just one more question. Have you ever found yourself in a dangerous situation in a house or have a threatening person come into the house in any way? Do you carry any kind of
Yes, I always carry a knife.
defense or
Defense.
Yeah.
I always carry a pretty good pocket knife, a pretty nice sized knife for me,
Yeah.
just in case. I mean, I never use it in a sense, but you always gotta be aware.
So would you
Yeah.
recommend having
What I
a
do is, I let the clients be in front of me.
Sure.
I don't like to be, in front of them. I like to let them walk them, and then I'll be behind them.
Yeah.
I'm behind them.
'Cause I've
Just
heard
because
about-
I'm always aware of what's going on,
Sure.
and I'm always looking around to see what,
Yeah, and like if somebody, I've heard about, I think JD had a story, like a guy came in like a black hoodie, black pants, and he kept saying like, yeah, let's go, show me the house, let's go to the back of the house. Like, show me the back of the house. And he was like, no, you can go look at it yourself. He's like, come on, just come with me.
So if you, I would say somebody when you,
Sometimes you gotta get a vibe, if that person's vibe is weird, then you
Yeah.
so
let
you,
it go, man.
it's a gut feeling, right?
Yeah.
You feel it when there's a threat, you always back off and like, nah, I'm okay, my man. I'd rather be straight up with them. Like, I don't trust you.
Especially for the ladies, there's websites where they have like tasers, gun shooting tasers. I strongly recommend you try to get concealed carry, go through gun safety courses. I just protect yourselves in those situations. Go with a partner, because you hear stories. It's rare, very rare. Most people are great, but you do hear stories and safety. You don't feel comfortable, don't walk into the rooms, don't go upstairs. Just stay by the front door, step out, take a phone call. Someone's walking in, feels weird, answer your phone. Yeah, you're gonna be here in 3 minutes? Awesome, I appreciate it. Come on in, check it out, I'll be right back in. And step outside, do things to make yourself feel safe.
Funny thing, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
That happened exactly what you said. It happened to me. I used to do open houses a year and a half ago. But then I was by myself and they were robbed and there this guy came and I felt this, different. And so he's like, as soon as he entered, he was looking all around like, oh no. And mind you, my son gave me a taser and knife. He's about to buy me a gun and things like that. But that day, I say, okay, I call my son. I say, hey, I'm over here, remember? 3 minutes, are you away? And the guy, he's like, oh, I gotta go. But that moment, I guess, I used to do open houses, but that actually just triggered, I say, I don't want to do open houses anymore, because, and then I don't have another partner. So that's,
Get a great lender,
yes.
find another partner here
So,
that's not really gonna do it.
I'll go with you. I carry bear base. Okay.
Bear mace is great. Bear mace is really good because it shoots far.
It shoots
It's
far.
beautiful. Yep.
So I would
Big
suggest,
fire hydrant.
yeah, like for
Don't give
females,
your power away.
yeah, always
Yeah,
have
don't
somebody.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, even your income way that way.
I don't think the kids will
I
do it
slow
because
down.
the kids can do it.
I slow down open houses. And
I'll give you my card, we'll go together, girl.
Okay, perfect. Because I love it, and so you said, like a lot of real estate, I noticed that they put their signs close to the property. In my mind, it's like, I'm just gonna go all the way, but now that you're explaining, I'm like, it's reassuring, so yeah.
A little bit
I
of
got
that.
another question.
All right, last question, and we're gonna get everyone out of here.
Hey, Marty, are you just carrying like the buyer's broker agreement with you to take them out and, I
No.
gotta know how people are doing this,
We're engaging on the conversation first.
Okay.
Because I don't want to put that up front because then that makes me look like I'm commissioned and happy in a sense, right? I don't want to give them that perspective. They're there to look at the property. So my thing is to make them feel comfortable for them to open up to me. Once we've done that and if they talk to the lenders, right, we have that conversation, then I can engage with them and set up a separate meeting at that point and then give them the reason why we're doing this. For me, it's like, if I throw something on paper right up front, hey, this is, you need to sign, who are you, right? Like, I wouldn't feel comfortable with that, so I would want the person to engage with me first and kind of get to know what I'm looking for. What is it I want? So if you're not connecting that way, then you're gonna pretty much push people away, honestly. And there's gonna be somebody that's gonna find out exactly what they want, make them feel a certain way, and I'm gonna be happy with them, and then exactly when you present that, it's not gonna be a
big deal.
no, it's not.
I don't think it's gonna be a big deal.
So it's always gonna be how you're engaging and what kind of questions. Always, and I'll just tell people, please always be curious. Why? Why are you here? Why? Ask why. Be curious, and people will engage with you more.
Beautiful. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you coming up and sharing. Appreciate you as always. All right, guys, that's what we got for today. Next week we have the Palmdale City
City of Palmdale.
City of Palmdale. What's the official title for City of Palmdale next week?
Safety or something?
The
Land development and building.
London development?
Land and development.
Planning and building.
Planning and building. See, we were all way off. Planning and building next week, so come on in for that. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your week. Go get three open houses this week. 3 open houses, 5 hours each day. What else are you doing?
Exactly.
I'm gonna with my kids. You guys go do it. All right, guys. Have a good day. Thank you, sir. Fantastic.
Oh, it disconnected again?
Yeah, dude, good, really good. Sorry for late notice, man. First, I was like, I'll sit there, you make questions, and you're like, oh, you got it. You're set, dude. I'll let you go. It's great. Yeah, he's gonna make copies of them.
Yeah,
I'll give him a minute and we'll print them for you.
Come on, Armando, we're done.
All right. Bye, Zoom. See you guys later. Have a wonderful day.